Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool, and we are with the chapter Carbon and its Compounds. And before going to the today's topic, let us try to recall what we have studied so far. Okay? See, we started with the introduction of carbon. Like we discussed why carbon is very much special, the unique properties like tetravalency, and also about catenation we discussed. And later we studied about hydrocarbons and how hydrocarbons has divided into two types, isn't it? Saturated, unsaturated. Under the category saturated, we discussed about alkanes. We have written the structures, formula of different types of alkanes. And later we went for unsaturated hydrocarbons where we discussed about alkene varieties and alkyne varieties. We have also seen the general formulas of alkanes, alkenes as well as alkynes, isn't it? And after that we studied about the cyclic hydrocarbons, aromatic hydrocarbons, and very importantly the structural isomers. So in the last class, I have shown you the structural isomers of butane. I told you how to write the structural isomers, isn't it? And today we are with one more important and interesting topic called functional groups. Okay? So far whatever we discussed was about only hydrocarbons. In the sense, the organic compounds which contain only carbon and hydrogen, isn't it? So we discussed about alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. So what are the two elements you observed in them? Only carbon and hydrogen. You did not have any other element in them, like oxygen is not there, nitrogen is not there, chlorine, bromine, iodine, these guys are not there. They are, whatever may be the varieties of alkanes, alkenes or alkynes, all of them were made up of these two elements, that is carbon and hydrogen, isn't it? And that was the story of hydrocarbons. And as I told you in the first class, organic compounds along with carbon and hydrogen, they may contain other elements also. So what are the other elements that you can observe in them? Oxygen can be observed, nitrogen can be observed, chlorine, bromine, iodine can be observed, sulfur can be observed, phosphorus can be observed. Okay, so these are the elements that you can also find in organic compounds. And in today's class, we are discussing about those organic compounds which can have these elements also, along with carbon and hydrogen. Okay, fine. And before going to those types of organic compounds, you must have an idea about the functional groups. The functional groups are the most important aspect one must understand to know about the entire organic chemistry. Okay, each and every chemical reaction shown by an organic compound is decided by these functional groups. Okay, you can able to decide whether an organic compound is more reactive or less reactive, or what type of reactions does it undergo, what type of products does it give. You know, all these aspects can be decided with the functional group. So functional group is the very important aspect that you have to understand. So listen to the class very carefully with the utmost concentration. And whatever I write on a board must be there in your book. As I already told you, organic chemistry will enter into your head only when you write and practice. Okay, it is not a subject that you have to read. Along with reading, you should understand, analyze, and learn it. Only then you feel easy about this chapter. Otherwise, it will remain difficult. Okay, so making it easy or difficult is all there in your hand, right? So how do you make it easy? Understand, analyze, write, practice. When you do this, the topic becomes very, very easy for you. Come, let us quickly go to the functional group. So how do you define a functional group? It is very simple, guys. Functional groups are those groups which decide the chemical properties of organic compounds. Chemical properties of organic compounds. Okay, so these are certain groups. These groups contain heteroatom. These groups contain what atom, guys? Heteroatom. Now, what do you mean by heteroatom? As I already told you, along with carbon and hydrogen, other elements can also be present, isn't it? So those elements were called as heteroatoms in case of organic compounds. Okay, so which elements are compulsory elements to be called as organic? Carbon and hydrogen. Okay, other than carbon and hydrogen, if oxygen is there, or nitrogen is there, or halogens like fluorine, chlorine, bromine are there, and also sulfur and phosphorus. If these guys are there in any organic compound, then these guys were called with the term heteroatom. Okay, fine. And now, these groups will contain heteroatom. Okay, let us see what are the groups, that is the special groups which decide the chemical properties of organic compound. Okay, so which groups are they? Actually, these guys are special groups. Okay, so instead of telling those, you can tell it as special groups which decide the chemical properties of organic compounds. Okay, so such groups are called functional group and they will contain the heteroatom. What do you mean by an heteroatom? These elements, if present along with carbon and hydrogen, then they are called as heteroatom. Okay, and now let us try to discuss what are those groups, and they have a special name also. Okay, so when an organic compound has that group, then you call that organic compound with some special names. So let us try to discuss the groups and the special names of organic compounds whenever those groups are there. Okay, so let us make a table here. Group, first I will give you the group's name. Okay, group's name, and whenever such groups are there in organic compound, then what is the name of organic compound? With what name we call those compounds as? Okay, so class of organic compound, class of organic compound. This is our third column, the type of organic compound. The type has, we call the type with a particular name. So those names also I am going to give you. Class of organic compound. Okay, and now let us also figure out in a group what is the heteroatom present. Okay, and in a group what is the heteroatom present. Okay, so these are the different things we are going to discuss about a group. Okay, first and foremost, The very important group or atoms that can be present in organic compound is groups like Cl, okay, or groups like Br, you know. So what are they? Cl and Br, we know this is chlorine, this is bromine, which are present in the 17th group of our periodic table. Okay, so along with carbon and hydrogen, the organic compound can also have these elements. Okay, so I call these elements as a group here. Actually, it is not a group. Group in the sense what? Anything that is made up of 2 or 3 atoms, isn't it? But here, you know, the element or atom itself, I can call it as a group. Okay, fine. And if chlorine is there, then we call this group as chloro group. Chloro group. And if bromine is there, then that bromine, we don't call it as bromine atom. We will call it as a group, no? So when you call it as a group, it should have some name, isn't it? So it is called as bromo group. Bromo group, or chloro atom, or bromo atom, anything you can call, since it is a pure single atoms. Okay, and whenever you have such elements along with carbon and hydrogen, okay, then those organic compounds have very different properties. Usually with carbon and hydrogen, in case if you find these guys, no, they are used as fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides in the field of agriculture. Okay, so nowadays many pesticides we use, insecticides we use, fertilizers we use, you know, all of them will contain organic compounds, and in those organic compounds along with carbon and hydrogen, you will also find these atoms in them. Okay, and those types of organic compounds which include these guys, okay, they are called as haloalkanes. Haloalkanes. Okay, say halo in the sense halogens. 17th group elements are also called as halogens. Okay, since halogens are present in organic compounds, usually they are present in alkanes. Okay, you know, I can give you one example here. So you all know what is this? CH3, okay, which alkane it is? 2 carbon atoms, isn't it? 2 carbon atoms in the sense eth, and all single bonds between carbon atoms, so A and E. So this is ethane, isn't it? You no need to mug up anything here. If you know a basic knowledge on you know, naming, you can able to understand the structure as well as name. Okay, so this is ethane, and you know, if I replace one hydrogen, I will remove one hydrogen. In the place of hydrogen, you know, I will add Cl. Then it becomes, which halogen atom it is? Chloro, isn't it? So it is called chloroethane. You know, so all these groups, how do we introduce in basic carbon and hydrogen compound? By replacing hydrogen atoms. Okay, so normally you know the hydrocarbons, alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. In them there are many hydrogen atoms, isn't it? If you replace 1 or 2 hydrogen atoms with these guys, then they become very special type of organic compounds having different properties. Okay, so I have replaced 1 hydrogen of ethane with Cl, then it become chloroethane. And don't worry about the names. The next aspect is about learning the names of organic compounds. Okay, so that time you will clearly understand why I call this compound as chloroethane. Okay, just I am giving an idea how we can introduce those groups in the basic hydrocarbons. Okay, we know CH3 is ethane, basic hydrocarbon. So in that 1 or 2 hydrogens, if I replace with these guys, then it becomes haloalkane. Okay, so this is how we introduce a group. And now, which is the hetero atom in case of haloalkanes, guys? The hetero atom is halogens. That is, hetero atom can be Cl or hetero atom can be Br. isn't it? Okay, so this is the heteroatom. Heteroatom in the sense what? In case of haloalkanes, okay, what is the heteroatom? In the sense other than carbon and hydrogen, what atoms are present? It is chlorine or bromine, isn't it? So this is about haloalkanes and the group Cl and Br. Clear? And now we will go for the next type of functional group, that is OH group. See, I am putting one line here. This means it is a bond, guys. Okay, it is not a minus sign or something. You know, always group has to indicate it along with one bond. What does this bond indicate is this particular group gets connected to carbon atoms that are present in a organic compound. Okay, hydrocarbons will contain carbon and hydrogen, no? So where is the group is getting attached to? The group will always gets attached to carbon atoms, not to the hydrogen atoms present in them. Okay, it will always gets attached to carbon atom. Okay, so that is what the indication of representing this line. Okay, so what do you mean by these lines? They indicate bonds. You know, these groups are involved in forming covalent bonds with carbon atoms that are present in hydrocarbons. Okay, fine. So this group is called, very important group, alcoholic group. Alcoholic group. Okay, and whenever this group is present in an organic compound, then those organic compounds are called with the name alcohols. Called with the name alcohols. Okay, say I can give you an example. Just the same ethane I will take. This is your normal ethane that you know. Okay, and now I will take one hydrogen atom. I will take one hydrogen atom and I will introduce OH. Then it becomes ethyl alcohol. Since OH group is there, I will call this compound as alcohol. Okay, got to know? This is ethyl alcohol. So whatever alcohol the people are using to make medicine and for the drinking purpose is all this compound only, ethyl alcohol. So whichever organic compound that has OH group will have a very different kind of properties. Okay, so all alcohols behave in a different way. Got to know? And remember one thing, the properties of haloalkanes is very much different from the properties of alcohols. Okay, so this will react differently and these alcohols react differently. Both are organic compounds only. Here also you find carbon hydrogen, here also you find carbon hydrogen. But here along with carbon hydrogen you have a heteroatom Cl. Here along with carbon and hydrogen you have a special group OH. See, the group is deciding the chemical property. You have two elements common in this variety also, this variety also. But the reactions of haloalkanes is very much different and the reactions of alcohol, their behavior is very much different. See how variation we have created in organic compounds just by introducing the groups, isn't it? So this is about alcohols. Remember guys, whenever a group OH is there, then those organic compounds are called alcohols. Now can you tell me, in case of alcohols, which is a heteroatom? That means except carbon and hydrogen, which is the new element that you are finding in alcohols? It is oxygen, isn't it? So what is the heteroatom here guys? Oxygen. That is the new element. I'm not talking about a group. Okay, so it is normally, this is called as organic compound now. In this compound, carbon, hydrogen common. Along with that, which element is extra, which element is present in different? That is oxygen. Heteroatom is oxygen. Okay, so in this organic compound, what is the special group present? Special group is OH. Okay, so OH together is called as, alcoholic group. Clear? Very important functional group. So in the examination, how they ask is, say they will ask you which group is called as alcoholic group. They'll give you the 4 options. Okay, so which group is called as alcoholic group? Always OH group. So you must remember the formula of a group, and you must also remember the name of a group. You must also remember, if the group is present, what is the name of the organic compound, and you must also remember in these types of organic compound what is the heteroatom present. Okay, so 4 things you must remember here. Let us go for the next group. The next group, very important group, CHO. Okay, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen together make one group. What is that group? CHO. Okay, and this CHO group is called with the name aldehydic group. Aldehydic group. Okay, and if the organic compounds contain aldehydic group, then those organic compounds are called as aldehydes. They are called as aldehydes. Whatever we have seen the nuts, badam, cashew, pista, yes or no? And they have a very different smell and taste, isn't it? All dry fruits have a different kinds of flavor, taste and all. The flavor and taste is all because of the presence of one organic compound in them. Okay, and those organic compound will contain a group CHO. Okay, so because of this special group, you have that taste and smell. Badam may contain different organic compound, cashew may contain different organic compound, but the organic compound contain one similar group. Okay, the organic compound of cashew, pista, badam, whatever it may be, compound is different, but they contain one similar group. What is that? CHO group. Okay, so all the organic compounds which contain CHO will act in one way. Okay, they have a different properties, which is very much again different than alcohols and haloalkanes. Clear, everybody? See the variation. See, you can observe these varieties of organic compounds that are there in our nature. Naturally they are present, and artificially man is also making. Okay, so all organic compound will not react in the same way. Okay, their reactivity always depends on the group they have. This is very important point to be remembered. Okay, so what is the group here? CHO group, called with the name aldehydic group, and if that group is there, the compound is called aldehydes. And can you tell me what is the heteroatom present? Okay, one example I will show: CH3, CH2, CH3, CH3, it is ethane, and instead of one hydrogen, I will introduce a group CHO. Now it becomes an aldehyde. Okay, it is called propanaldehyde, and don't worry about the name. Next aspect is learning names only. Okay, and can you tell me which is the heteroatom present in aldehyde? Again, oxygen. Yes or no? The group itself contain carbon and hydrogen. They are not hetero. Organic compound, presence of carbon and hydrogen is common, but which is the element that is present in different other than carbon and hydrogen? That is called as heteroatom. So in the group or the compounds containing this group will have a different element, oxygen. Okay, so this is about aldehydic group. The next one, CO group. Okay, CO group. Here I will put 2 bonds here. Okay, that means just to satisfy the valency of carbon, that's it. Okay, and this group, if I have to write elaborately, I will write it like this. Always between carbon and oxygen, you will have a double bond, guys. Okay, now valency of carbon is satisfied. You see, The carbon and hydrogen has a double bond between them. This is hydrogen, and this bond indicates this definitely will get connected to other carbons which are present in a chain. You can observe here. See, without a bond, the group doesn't exist. And with whom the bond will make? The bond will make with the next carbon to which it is attached to. Yes or no? So that's why we indicate this bond here. Definitely the group will have its significance, that means importance, only when it is connected to rest of the carbons that are present in a organic compound. Okay, so that's why. See, if I elaborate and write the group's structure, it is like this. Okay, and this group, CO group is different, CHO group is different, OH group is different. You should not get confused. Okay, and this group is called with the name ketonic group. It is called with the name ketonic group. And any organic compound which contain those groups are called as ketones. Ketones. Okay, have you seen the nail polish remover? Nail polish remover is nothing but an organic compound. Can I give its formula? Nail polish remover is this. CH3. CH3, CO, CH3. You see the special group. CO group is there now here? Yes. So, whichever organic compound that has a CO group, then those organic compounds are called, generally called with the name ketones. Okay. And all ketones usually have that volatile nature. What do you mean by volatile nature? They escape easily into atmosphere in the form of vapors. Okay. So usually how does water gets vaporized into atmosphere? When you heat it. When you heat it, more and more water will convert it into vapor and goes into atmosphere. Isn't it? But sometimes there are certain organic compounds, you no need to heat them, just keep it open, automatically they will convert it into vapor and they will escape into atmosphere. You must have observed nail polish remover. If you keep the cap open and keep it, come and see after 20 minutes, will you have the same amount of nail polish remover as there in the bottle previously? No, half of the amount would have gone, isn't it? That's why we always keep closed the nail polish removers, right? So when you keep it open, it all will evaporate and goes. You know, that nature we will call it as volatile nature. And volatile nature is a property of organic compound. Which type of organic compounds are having this volatile nature? Ketones. Why they have this nature? It is all because of the presence of this group. You see, the group is deciding the property here. Got to know? Fine. And which is the heteroatom in ketones, guys? Say this is the best example for ketone that I gave you. Which is the heteroatom? Other than carbon and hydrogen, which element is extra? Oxygen. Here also heteroatom is oxygen. Okay. Say hydrogen is the best friend for carbon. Carbon cannot exist without hydrogen. So hydrogen is always present with carbon. And after hydrogen, carbon shows little more affinity and friendship with oxygen. That's why most of the groups will have oxygen as the heteroatom. Okay. So after hydrogen, who is the best friend for carbon? It's oxygen. Got to know? Fine. We will learn the next group, the last and important group. Okay. COOH. Biggest group. If I elaborate this group, you know, its structure is like this. You know, these elaborate structures also you must remember, guys. Okay, COOH. If I elaborate, if I have to show all the bonds between carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen, this is how. Okay, see, C should have 4 bonds, no? 1, 2 bonds with oxygen, 1 bond with OH group, and again the next bond will be with other carbon atoms which are present in a chain. Okay, fine. So this group is called acidic group. This is called acidic group. Okay. and whichever organic compound that has the COOH group, they are called with the name carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acids. Okay, got to know. And it is called as carboxylic acidic group also. Not just acidic group, carboxylic group also you can call. Clear? Say, and what is the heteroatom you will observe, guys? Here also oxygen is the heteroatom. Okay, say for example CH3COOH. You all know the compound CH4. If I remove one hydrogen and put this COOH group, what do you get, Chai? What do you get here? CH3COOH. Yes or no? I removed one hydrogen from methane and in the place of hydrogen, what group I introduced? CH3COOH. This is what you call vinegar. Yes? I have shown many experiments with vinegar. Vinegar is also used in cooking, isn't it? So vinegar is acidic. It has a very, pungent smell. Pungent smell in the sense, the smell which gets suffocated. Yes or no? From the smell you get suffocated, right? So that particular compound is vinegar. So why it is so much strong is because, it is acidic in nature. You all know acids in the sense HCl, H2SO4, HNO3 and how dangerous they are. So similarly, organic compounds also can behave as acids. Okay, so when they behave as acids, whenever they have a group called COOH group. Okay, so any organic compound which has that group behaves as acid. The best example is vinegar. Okay, so these are some important groups that you have to remember. There are many other groups, guys. Okay, say most of the groups included oxygen as the heteroatom. No, we have groups like NH2. We have groups like NO2. We have groups like CN. Which is the heteroatom here? Nitrogen is the heteroatom, isn't it? And many other groups are there. About them you will be studying in higher classes like class 11 and 12. Okay, as of now these are the different functional groups you have to remember, and you have to practice them. Definitely you should remember their names, class, like if the group is present, what is the organic compound called and what is the heteroatom. All these are very much important. Okay, and now let us go for another important aspect called homologous series. And this is also a very important topic. It can be asked for 2 marks in the board examination. Direct questions will be asked, or it can be asked in the form of MCQs also. Okay, so listen carefully. Before I give the definition for homologous series, I will show you some organic compounds, different types of organic compounds. And within a group, within a series, you have to tell me what is common and what is different. Okay, so just observe this. We all know I am giving a class of alkanes now. All alkanes, different types of alkanes. Formula I will write. Okay, so what is the formula for methane, guys? CH4. We have learned about alkanes in detail, isn't it? We learned how to write their structure, formula, name and everything, right? So this is our methane. Yes, and the next member is what? Ethane. What is this? This is our methane, isn't it? Next I will write ethane. Ethane formula, can you be able to recall ethane formula? It is C2H6. Okay, so if you want, you can just go back to the pages and see the ethane formula. Pause the video, go back to the alkanes class and you see the formulae one by one. Okay, methane, ethane, and next I will write propane. Propane formula is what? C3H8, isn't it? And next I will mention butane. Okay, what is its formula? C4H10, guys, isn't it? So these are a class of alkanes. And now a class of alkenes I will show. A class of alkenes I will show. Okay, so what is the first alkene? C2H4, isn't it? Okay, and the next alkene C3H6, isn't it? Next one C4H8. Okay, so this is ethene, this is propene, and this is butene. Okay, and one more series I will write. A class of alcohols I will write. Class of alcohols. Observe it. CH3OH, first member of alcohol, methyl alcohol. Okay, and don't worry about the name, no need to remember now. Okay, next variety CH3CH2OH, ethyl alcohol. Next variety CH3CH2CH2OH, propyl alcohol. Okay, see, this is one variety of organic compound, another variety of organic compound, the third variety of organic compound. Okay, observe each variety. Okay, I will talk about, come to this variety. What is common, guys? What is common? Yes, between the carbon atoms, all have single bond. Okay, see, this has a single bond between carbon, here you have a single bond between 3 carbons, single bond between 4 carbons, all single bonds only. Okay, that's why you called them alkanes. That is the similarity, isn't it? And now, what is the difference between this compound and this compound? Similarity between this compound and this compound is they all have single bonds, you know, and these guys, this is also made up of carbon, hydrogen, this guy is also made up of carbon and hydrogen. Okay, what is different? How many carbon and hydrogen atoms are different in this guy compared to this? Okay, see, what is the difference, guys? Difference is just about one CH2 group. Yes or no? One carbon is extra here and 2 hydrogens are extra here. This is the difference between the first member and the second member. And coming to the second member and third member. So what is the difference? Again CH2. Yes or no? One carbon is extra, 2 hydrogens are extra here. Compared to this guy. I am not comparing with first one, I am comparing with second one. Okay, now compare between third and fourth guy. What is the difference? Again CH2, isn't it? Okay, what is the similarity? They all are similar type of organic compounds. Why I tell they are similar is because they all have single bonds, they are called as alkanes, all of them behave in a similar way. Okay, but what is the difference between first one and second one? Just a CH2. What is the difference between second and third one? Just a CH2. What is the difference between third and fourth one? Just a CH2. Right? So such series of same organic compound but have a difference of CH2 between the successive members is called homologous series. Okay, a series of same type of organic compounds but having a difference of CH2 between the successive member in the sense first and second and third and fourth. Okay, so between the successive members you just have a difference of CH2 but all of them belong to the same type of organic compound having same properties. Okay, so such a series of compounds, when you write it one by one, you know, they are called as homologous series. So this is one example of homologous series. This is example 1 I gave you. This is example 2 I gave you. And this is example 3 I gave you. Okay, you can check here also. See, all of them are alkenes. They have double bonds between carbon atoms. All of them behave in a similar way chemically. Okay, but between the first member and second member, what is the difference, guys? CH2. Between the second member and third member, what is the difference? CH2. Okay, see, all these guys, since they have a special group OH, they are called with the name alcohols. This is also alcohol, this is also alcohol, this is also alcohol, but their names are different according to the carbon atoms. Here you have only one carbon atom, so it names, when you name it, you differently you will write, okay, and it will have a different name. The third one will have a different name, but all of them have same functional group. They are called with the name alcohols. Okay, and what is the difference between first member and second member? You see CH2. What is the difference between second member and third member? You see CH2, isn't it? So this is one example of homologous series. This is another example of homologous series. This is another example of homologous series. Okay, so how do you define a homologous series? A series of same organic compounds, but having a difference of CH2, having a difference of CH2 between successive members. Okay, this word is very important. Having a difference of CH2 between successive members. Successive member means first and second, second and third, third and fourth. Okay, you know, if I compare first one and the third one, the difference is not about CH2, it is much more. But I am not comparing like that. I am comparing between 1, 2, again 2, 3, 3, 4, like that. Okay, so I gave you 3 examples. Remember any one example to write in the examination. Whichever example you feel easy, that you can remember. But the questions can be asked very differently in MCQs. Okay, so they give certain series of compounds and they'll ask you which of them belong to homologous series and all. Anyway, you will get that exposure when I deal with the questions, okay, after the chapter. And now just try to remember the definition and its meaning. Try to at least frame the examples. Okay, so this is all about the functional group and homologous series. Both are very, very important topics to understand, and revise the topics very, very carefully, and we will meet up in the next class. And if you like our video, please like it, share it, and subscribe our channel to learn the chemistry in a more easiest way. Thank you so much.